Velo 1. It's quite an oddball of a handheld from 1997, and it cost quite a lot of money. It's the Velo 1 itself cost around about about $600, depending on which shop you bought it in, etc. Which is a lot of money for a small handheld device. And it was around the time they were booming. Handheld devices were booming, and it was supposedly the next best thing. They were basically the leap from laptops through to what we know as mobile phones nowadays. So, you know, it was kind of an in-between kind of thing. So it'd be nice to take a look at it. So this is the Philips Velo 1, and it's a handheld PDA. It comes in quite a nice package box-wise, and so we'll have a look at the garb on the back, and then we'll find out exactly what it's meant to do. So on the back it's listed with quite a few things that it's meant to do. It's supposed to basically run Windows anywhere, be able to connect to your desktop PC. It looks like it runs Windows CE, and it comes with some form of dock, well, according to the box anyway. And it's meant to be 4 megabytes, but I know this one's had an upgrade to 8, and it was a factory upgrade. And it basically touts it as everything you would ever need in a handheld device. Now, one of the selling points of this was that it had a backlight. It's pointing out this backlight button there, which means that the backlight's on when you want it on. It's not on all the time, so it's basically on demand via a little on-off switch, which is a bit strange, but you know, we'll have a look and see how it works. And also it's touting internet connectivity as well, but again, it's through dial-up, so it's not really going to work in, you know, the best part of the 21st century, to be honest, but we'll have a look. Now, also with this particular model comes with this folder, and it's basically saying congratulations on purchasing your new Philips Velo 1, the premier handheld PC that lets you run Windows anywhere. And it's got your documentation, and it has all of your software enclosed. Sliding it open, reveals another envelope, and it has quite a lot inside, which was par for the course for these models, especially when you consider that they wanted you to know as much as possible about the device that you were buying. And this one comes with an upgrade to Windows CE 2.0, a rechargeable battery pack, shows you how to install the DRAM card, and it also comes with the original purchase letter congratulating you on buying this particular model. And again, it's saying you can work with even more productivity on your Velo. It's another nice letter to the original purchaser. And then how to install your 4 meg DRAM card. This also came with a Velo telephone connectivity kit, and it's got a brief instruction leaflet on how to connect that, along with your worldwide guarantee and your Windows CE 2.0 guide, which is, it's okay. It's quite a nice little guide. And the companion for Windows CE, which is your Microsoft publication which comes with most versions of Windows CE. Your accessories leaflet, which is the accessories you can buy for this machine, along with your quick start guide, which helps you put the batteries in the machine and so on, and how to actually turn the thing on. Again, another worldwide guarantee, along with it in different languages. You also have your Velo software on CD, which is good, handy if you need to reinstall, and a fresh copy of Windows CE licensed. Your Microsoft registration card and a virtual courier user's guide, which is to connect a virtual courier via the Velo. The registration card, and obviously part of the Microsoft guarantee, along with the customer service card and passport registration, which was never actually filled out. So that's quite a substantial pile of documentation and software that comes with this machine. So let's have a look at the machine itself. So unpacking the box is rather straightforward. Which it comes in an internal carton with everything quite neatly packaged in the machine. And it has most of the optional extras with this machine, such as the case, the AA batteries it runs on, rechargeable battery pack, the Velo 1 manual, which is quite substantial. It's quite a hefty manual for such a small device. Your serial port adapter and the CF cards. These are the original 4MB CF card and the blank, which the machine left the factory with, but this one was upgraded to 8MB probably at the dealers. And you also get a docking station with a serial cable and a power supply, which is cool. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is set up with the docking station on here, because it just makes it easier as well. And the Velo itself is in a nice leatherette case, which is quite stiff to open. And as you can see, it's quite a small device. It doesn't quite fit in the palm of your hand, but it's quite small, and it slides into the dock itself. Cool. And that's what you're supposed to put on your desktop. And you can plug this end here into your PC if you want to transfer files. Opening the device, and the first thing that strikes you is the keyboard. Now the keyboard is, I wouldn't really know how to describe this keyboard. It's not quite a membrane keyboard. It's not a real keyboard. It's kind of like tic-tac-toe is probably the best way of describing it. Little plastic domes, and it's not brilliant, but it does have a full size spacebar and a Windows key as well, which kind of, which could be useful, especially the Windows key. And now the screen itself, okay, it's looks very green. It looks very green on the camera as well, because it's a backlit screen. It's basically a CS screen. So if we power it on, you can see immediately there's no backlight on the screen, but it's not bad. It's clear enough. The backlight's on a little button here, which then gives it a bit more of a green glow. And this is what you get when you turn it on. It's basically a setup wizard. And one thing you note about the backlight is that it's an on-demand, and it's on a timer. It turns itself off after a while. And the first thing it's going to ask you to do is to slide the stylus out and then use it on the screen to calibrate the screen in the same way as nearly every PDA did at that point. And then you go through setting up your location, your time zone, and so on. Okay, and then you're through to the Windows CE screen. Now it's basically giving you a couple of warnings because it really hasn't been used for a while, and the backup battery is kind of needs replacing. But once you've done that, you're greeted with a Windows CE screen, which is pretty much like any Windows CE screen. You can either use the Windows button to get your menu up and to use the little arrow keys to scroll up and down, so you can get your programs that way. And it's very much Windows 95 based. So it comes with applications such as Word and Excel, which is what you would expect. And Excel is very much what you'd expect Excel to look like, and you could still transfer the files you save on this over to a PC, and it would be okay today because the legacy file system is still used within Excel. So if we close it down and go back to the main screen, or most of the applications you're going to use are on the main screen. So if you go to Microsoft Word, it's very similar. Double click and then it's type. And it seems to be alright. I think the keyboard feels better than it actually looks, and it works slightly better than I thought it would. So I've got to take back a little bit on the keyboard. It's not as bad as it actually looks. And the spacing is not too bad. It's okay, it does work, and it's not as bad as it first looks initially anyway. Again, that's Word. It's documents that you save on this can actually be used on everything else as well. From that standpoint, it is useful. The other options we've got are your contacts, which is your standard contact list that you get on just about any other Windows 95-ish platform, and it's exactly the same as you would do on most early versions of Windows. So again, that could be useful as well. And everything else is very Windows 95-ish, including my handheld PC, your recycle bin, your inbox, which, inbox for email, which is good because remember, this has a 14400 modem, which you can connect up to a BT line, and then use it to connect to other machines around the globe, or just to your local office if you wanted to. But this should look quite familiar to most people now. Really hasn't changed a lot, has your mail and your inbox, and as I say, that should be fairly normal to most people. So again, if it wasn't for the modem, you could use Wi-Fi to connect, then this would actually be useful today. But unfortunately, it's not really anything that's used anymore as dial-up. And as I say, the backlight does go on and off when it feels like it. You've also got voice memo, which is here, which you can record little notes like a little mini dictator machine. And really, that is roughly about it, other than your normal settings and your documents folder, which doesn't have anything in at the moment. So this is your basic handheld PC. This is what was expected of a handheld PC in the late 1990s, and it's not badly built. I mean, I've got to give it credit because the machine feels very robust. It's quite heavy, and the backlight is quite annoying because it won't stay on. But you know, it generally is quite a well thought out machine, but it was up against a lot of competition, which is why this one didn't actually stay that long in the market. And now undocked, you can see how actually physically small this machine was. And you know, it's not a bad size. I mean, it's easily transportable, and it would fit in kind of a large inside jacket pocket, so you could carry it around, and it was probably a lot more convenient than carrying a laptop around. And so to that end, it basically did what it was meant to do. But you're going to struggle really trying to use this as an everyday machine, mainly because the connectivity via the serial port is going to be a bit of a problem, because most modern machines don't have the serial ports that they did from kind of only a few years ago. So that would restrict you to using older hardware with this machine. But in saying that, it's nicely built. It's nicely built. And I'm not so sure it justified its price tag, because it was quite expensive. It's nearly $600 when it first came out. But again, it wasn't far away from any other handheld device that was out either. So, you know, you got to compare it with the times and other machines of the time. So that's your Velo 1. Now, the Velo 1 wasn't massive by any means, and it wasn't a horrible piece of kit, but it didn't last long because it was superseded within 12 months of its launch. Now, the biggest reason for that, I believe, is, if I just move this, is this. The Psion 5. Much nicer, much more of a design piece, much lighter, and just the way that keyboard alone springs in and out. The Psion had a wide screen compared to the Velo, a better keyboard compared to the Velo, was much lighter in comparison to the Velo, and it was overall just a nicer piece of kit, even where the way your pen or your scribe sat in the side, it was much nicer, and it was a lot smaller as well, and lighter and thinner. But out of the two, I think the Velo would have stood up more once you got used to that keyboard. The keyboard wasn't terrible, but it wasn't brilliant. Where the keyboard on the Psion was nicer to type in, the keys were better spaced, and it was just generally a nicer machine, and that was its competition. So out of the two, the Psion as a general machine and a PDA and a do-it-all with its touchscreen quick functions down here, such as Word, spreadsheet, database, agenda, time, calculator, sketch, so on. It was much easier just to press these little buttons than it was to go Windows, Start, so on, just to get to your programs. Windows CE wasn't brilliant, and I think Windows CE let the Velo down more than the hardware itself. Now I hope you enjoyed this short look at the Velo 1. It's an interesting machine from kind of a time period that people have more or less forgot now, and it's a machine, as I said, was a stepping stone towards some, what we call mobile phones now, and it was so expensive for what it was, and Windows CE didn't help it any, and that's the biggest issue with the Velo. It was spec quite nicely, it had enough processing power to shove the applications along quite well. It had docking station well thought out, extra memory cards, and it was really, really well packaged, which a lot of Philips stuff at the time was, but I think it was wide of the mark. And the Velo 1 was only out there for a year, 12 months, that was it, and it was replaced by the latest model, which was more in the line of the Psion with the wider screen, and it was just nicer, and it didn't have to have that backlight, which was a manual backlight. I'm guessing it was to save batteries, but as a curio, it's great, it's brilliant to have. As a piece of history or retro tech that you can use today, not so much. Windows CE, as I said, is a bit of its kind of down point. It was always seen as a bit of a damp squib. I mean, it was all right, but it had the look and feel of Windows 95, and it just didn't scream PDA. It just screamed more desktop, which is what I think they were kind of aiming at, but didn't really work. But as I say, the Velo 1, I like to keep it in good condition for my collection, and it's something I will get out now and again to see if there's any other bits and pieces are out there available for this machine. But I'm kind of guessing what you have on this is what really is all you're going to get. So I hope you enjoyed this look at this, and I hope you will subscribe and look at my other work on this channel and all my other programs, and hopefully there's something you'd be interested in. Okay, so thanks a lot, thanks for watching, thanks for your time, and I hope to meet you again soon on this channel. Thank you.